Gabriel Gage and all his antics on the internet has driven away friend after friend, maybe due in part to his inability to even care a little bit about their feelings with his narcissistic tendencies. Or of course, it could be that even to those with questionable interests and motives, they still can't help but be driven away by his degeneracies. Because now, with the 8th betrayal, I believe, of 2026, Nova Online has lost yet another friend, or little space caregiver, rather. You'll see what I mean by that later on. Surely, this has been a devastating blow, considering the nature of how this conversation went. We get to see yet another perspective on what an intimate sort of connection with the chom might entail. Let's get after it, Grubbas. Starting off, of course, with the initial contact between the two, we have this person going, "Hi Nova, I'm a big fan. I've been watching you for a while. I'm also into ABDL and I make my own passies."
Wow, that one guy was a real meanie.
Who? Mags?
Yeah, they called you a chud, which is fucked up.
Yeah, she said in VC that they use their voice to attract pedos and that they get paid for it, and she wanted to do it to you. I told Alice about it.
Yep, dude was a troll.
Yeah, I'd love to be friends with you if you don't mind. Then a little over 6 hours later, this person said, "Good morning, I hope you're doing okay." Then yet another 5 hours or so later, this person would triple text Nova saying, "Hi Nova, if you want an online caregiver, I'm available. I've had a couple littles before, and I don't mind helping you. I know you're going through a lot, and I have mental health issues myself, so I totally understand. My love language is gift giving, so I can buy you stuff. No pressure though, just wanted to put the offer out. I love your content and your personality." You know, Nova was a little suspicious at first. He was a little iffy on whether or not he wanted to take up their offer of becoming friends with one another. You saw there, plain and simple, he ignored them for essentially 12 whole hours. He read and saw the texts about maybe being friends, and what really finally put him over the edge, he responded to in under an hour, was the prospect of getting gifts from this person. Because if there's one thing other than people under the age of 18 the chom loves, it's buying or receiving random useless trinkets or food. So instantly, this person had Nova hook, line, and sinker. He said,
"If I do accept, I want to make one thing clear.
"Yeah?
If I see any of our DMs leaked, you will be banned and blocked."
It is, of course, also pretty interesting to see that the chom has been betrayed so much by his friends. The leaks have been released about him over and over and over again, so many times by people he thought were friends, that he has to put a disclaimer at the beginning of every single friendship he thinks he forms by saying, "Hey, man, if I see any of our DMs anywhere of me talking really weird with you, I'm going to be real angry and I'm going to have to block you and our friendship's over." But they continue on with, "Of course, I respect your privacy. I won't show it to anyone.
To be honest, with all this stress and shit, I wonder how the fuck I'm still alive right now, and now I'm crying."
And of course, if you've read through or seen any of his previous leaks of conversations with his friend, this is a pattern we see over and over and over again. It's that as soon as Nova has a friend, he immediately leans on them so heavily, emotionally. I mean, the way this looks, he just met this person, and the same day, he's literally immediately jumping into self-deletion baiting, which is such a terrible, disgusting thing to do. We saw him do it all the time with Alice, and it seems to be his go-to with anyone he believes is a friend, where he wants to farm as much pity as possible, make people feel bad, and come and coddle him. Because Lord knows, baby girl likes being taken care of. All jokes aside though, that's just an incredibly sick thing to do. And it seems ever so much more fraudulent when you realize just 20 minutes later, he was trying to rizz her up with,
"You're adorable, by the way."
Now, I don't know if any of you fellas have ever witnessed someone who's feeling that way, or God forbid found yourself in a dark place such as that, but when you're feeling that way, feeling so hopeless that you're genuinely confused as to why you're still alive right now, you don't just get pulled up right out of that deep, dark depression 20 minutes later, especially when you see that in the third page after sending a photo of himself saying, "Oh, I'm too depressed to show the other part right now." Who knows what the other part could possibly be, by the way, that's horrifying. But he goes,
"I'm starting to whimper again."
No, I'm telling you, nobody who's feeling that depressed is going to send the text, "I'm starting to whimper." That's like the least serious you could possibly take being depressed. I just, putting it like that, so incredibly performative. He's purposely trying to make himself seem even more childlike. But I guess that also plays into the fact that this person's been granted semi-official caregiver status by the chom. The chom always seems to be a little too trusting of these new friends with the oversharing that he constantly partakes in when he's talking to them, especially when regarding his mental health. And that's one thing that, again, he tries to pity farm with them. And while through multiple pages, you can see the closeness escalating between the two, where Nova's really quickly trusting this person with a whole lot and complaining a whole lot about this quote-unquote harassment that the chom's constantly facing. I think the real meat potatoes of it all is this whole gift-giving slash caregiving dynamic that's real apparent in the following. Do you use Venmo or anything?
I use all three. Why?
Cause I wanna spoil you, lol, if you want.
Wow, no CG, referring to caregiver there, have ever offered to do that to me. Is this normally what CGs do?
It's what I do, lol. I don't have to, though. And of course, the chom, loving the prospect of maybe getting some new plushies, he goes,
sometimes I feel like I don't have enough plushie friends. I love weighted stuffies. I used to have so many pathies before my aunt threw them all away.
So as soon as we get into Nova getting really taken care of with these gifts, he immediately starts alluding to all sorts of things that he wants. He's like, oh, I could really use some more stuffed animals. I feel like I never have enough stuffed animals. And God, I can't believe my aunt threw away my pacifier collection. You know, he's not outright asking for these things, but he's like, oh, like I could really use them. Not a thank you, not a please. He's just getting right to business about what he wants, and these wants and needs need to be taken care of stat. And this premise is so wild that Nova would get to be some sort of sugar baby. I mean, you would figure he has enough plushies, but no, he wants more. He needs all the gifts that this person can possibly give him. And they're this caregiver character, they can't possibly hope to get a thank you out of him for it. And that's just due to the entitled nature of the chom. I mean, what can you really expect when a person grows up never really being told no properly aside from maybe his aunt or Uncle Drew? I mean, he's 21 and hasn't had a real job in over a year at this point, and his mom just kind of lets it happen. I mean, she is unfortunately disabled and she has a lot of health issues going on, so it's not like she can really forcibly make him go out and get a job or take charge in his life. But in this dynamic, there's never enough that could possibly be given to the chom. I mean, right here, he says, by the way, is my gift out for delivery? The person replies, yes, it is. The closest to maybe some gratitude we get is him going,
I got the package, everything is so cute.
Now, outside of the fact that it's an awful prospect that the chom got all sorts of gifts, whatever he wanted from this person for free, they were fulfilling this caregiver role perfectly for the chom. He was getting everything that he wanted. But you'd think that since everything's going completely swimmingly for the chom, he'd listen to his caregiver when they'd say things to him or give him advice. But that couldn't be further from the case, because while Alice was going through that fake doxing attempt that Nova was taking extremely seriously, this person was seeing through the fact that Alice doesn't have the best intentions in mind and was trying to warn Nova that maybe he should leave this insane fangirl behind. But no, of course the chom's not going to listen. I'll read to you how that unfolded. Good morning, how are you?
Leave the server! I'm being blackmailed.
By who?
Defender and Lucky.
What are they blackmailing you with?
Alice is full doxed.
Do they have her information?
Yes, I'm effing scared.
I think you need to let them go. They aren't good for you, and it's stressing you out so much.
I don't know what to do.
Just block them. They obviously aren't good for your mental health. I don't like seeing you stressed. Then we've got, I'm Thad right now. What's wrong?
It's Alice.
Oh no, what happened?
She self-harmed last night.
Haven't you realized she's a troll?
I don't know why she'd waste her money on me if she was a troll.
What about all these DoorDash orders besides me, lol?
Those were made by completely different people,
I guess.
But yeah, I've been more careful talking to her.
Okay, good. I just don't want you getting hurt.
Okay, Alice is okay.
Good. Did she actually harm herself?
She said she passed out and had to go to the ER.
And is she telling the truth?
She sent me pictures of the cuts, which was disturbing, so I deleted it.
Okay. So time and time again in the time period, of course, that he was still talking to Alice, he had all of us talking about how she had the worst intentions possible for him, but then he had someone who was supposed to be his role-played caregiver at the time, giving him advice, letting him know, hey, Alice doesn't have the most pure intentions for you. But every step of the way he ignored and continued to make awful decisions for himself, one being continuing on with this Alice person associated with that UTTP group. I think the whole dynamic when speaking about Alice with the caregiver is interesting because it really shows how shallow that supposed bond he's supposed to be having with a friend, or I guess in this case a somewhat intimate partner, is being the caregiver. He's whining and complaining about things like Alice, and when this person goes out of their way to impart their opinion on the matter, he couldn't give less of a shit about it. He couldn't take their perspective into mind and just completely went back to assuming he's 100% right about Alice not being a troll. If you've kept up with the chom this year, you'd see how not listening to his pal here actually got him into some more embarrassing leaks. But now, I have a couple more pages to read to you just so you guys can really get a true understanding of this relationship dynamic of caregiver and little.
I have a question. It's not bad, I promise.
What is it?
How can I properly suck my new pathy without it falling out?
Out of your mouth?
Yeah, it's a common problem for me.
Do you have a passy clip you could use?
No, I mean it falls out of my mouth and I want it to stay in while I sleep.
I'm not sure besides a passy clip.
I believe my PA's account has been mass reported.
Did it get deleted?
Yep.
Oh no.
Do you have any onesies?
Yes, I do. I have 2 as of right now. Do you have any?
I used to, but I can't seem to find them. I ended up burning the Sailor Moon one.
That's sad, but I understand why.
Oh, I just had a big brain idea.
What is it?
What if we got matching onesies?
Oh, that would be cute. So do you want to pick them out?
How about we choose one together?
Okay, I'm about to shower, but maybe afterwards.
Hey,
What's up?
I hate myself right now.
What's wrong?
There's a lot going on.
I'm sorry about that. I hope things can get better for you.
What's up? I hate myself so much right now.
Why?
Just questioning my self-worth. I'm about to do something shameful again.
What is it?
Go back to doing spicy content.
Hey yo, on the hub, you could probably make an OnlyFans, not gonna lie.
I may not have a choice. Guess whose birthday is on the 8th?
You! Stop talking to randos online.
I know. I hate myself for being so trusting. And plus, she wasn't either guest at all. We were both consenting adults. She was just pause-loading me.
Well, congrats, fellas. You've made it through yet another Chome leak today. It feels as though it's been a weekly occurrence for a while now. This time around, we've got way more ABDL or the gross baby diaper stuff going on. We have a display of him not really caring or respecting yet another friend. We'll have him plotting against some creators in the lolcow coverage space coming up shortly and more. It's just an interesting existence he leads. Anyways, if you liked what you saw here today, don't forget to like and hype it up. It really helps. Maybe even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Later, Grubbas.